coming from our friends over on Redacted. Scott Ritter, former U.S. weapons inspector, former Marine, just dropping bombshell after bombshell. And I want to present this to you tonight on The Real Greg Kelly Show. I want you to see this because if you're sick and tired of being lied to and manipulated into sending your hard-earned tax dollars, they're spending our tax money, the money that they take out of your check, every single time you get paid. Even if you're retired, they're taking taxes off your retirement as well, and they're sending it to Ukraine. So watch this. I want you to get this, and I want you to get it good. The title of this little clip here is actually kind of long. I may interrupt here and there, but I want you to see this for yourself. All right, here it is, Redacted with Scott Ritter.
Much vaunted spring offensive from the Ukrainian side come to a screeching halt now that the calendar has turned into summer. Well, that's what we heard yesterday from Russian President Vladimir Putin, who says the signs are that the strategic reserves from Ukraine have been depleted and that their counteroffensive has come to a grinding halt. So what does this mean? Take a listen.
И 678 бронемашин разного типа. И, судя по всему, противник занимается тем, что сейчас комбинирует из бригад, которые понесли серьезные потери, новые подразделения, занимается восстановлением боеспособности, но, конечно, опасается таких же масштабных потерь, потому что это может привести к не только к утрате боеспособности.
Meanwhile, European leaders continue to shovel more money and more weapons into Ukraine. We heard this from UK, we heard this from Ursula von der Leyen, we also heard it from the United States side. More money, more weapons to Ukraine, because sending more money and weapons to Ukraine means that you are defending democracy when you support Ukraine. Our next guest is Scott Ritter, former UN weapons inspector, former U.S. Marine, who's just written a piece in Consortium News about this nuclear threat and where we are headed potentially to potentially nuclear war. Scott, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
So I want to unpack all of these things. I first want to touch on your most recent piece, which we heard from President Biden over the past 48 hours on a fundraising trip, by the way, that he's been warning us, of course, about Vladimir Putin, saying he thinks that there's a real possibility that Putin's going to use nuclear weapons. And meanwhile, the other side, on the Russian side, seems to be saying the exact opposite. So you've written this new piece on that specific question on nuclear war. Can you unpack that? Explain to us what your piece is about and where we're headed in this mess right now.
Well, I think we need to understand, first of all, that we live in a world where there's two competing nuclear doctrines. One is the American nuclear doctrine, which Biden has inherited from Trump, who inherited it from Obama, who inherited it from Bush. And this is a doctrine that embraces the notion of preemptive nuclear war, a winnable nuclear war, a world where the United States can envision using nuclear weapons preemptively in an effort to escalate, to de-escalate. That is, showing the other side that we're serious about this, and that causing them to back down. And we have to keep in mind that the doctrine that exists under Biden is the doctrine that was in place when a senior Trump administration defense official said, our goal in having this doctrine, and this is a direct quote, our goal.
Okay, all right. So Sister Nick said I should go ahead and start this over. I am. I want y'all to get this. I hope everything is much better now, man, because this is getting on my nerves. On my nerves. Okay. I'm going to start it over. I'm going to back this up. All right. Let's do it again.
Well, has the much vaunted spring offensive from the Ukrainian side come to a screeching halt now that the calendar has turned into summer? Well, that's what we heard yesterday from Russian President Vladimir Putin, who says the signs are that the strategic reserves from Ukraine have been depleted and that their counteroffensive has come to a grinding halt. So what does this mean? Take a listen.
Мужики наколотили 245 танков противника и примерно 678 бронемашин разного типа. И, судя по всему, противник занимается тем, что сейчас комбинирует из бригад, которые понесли серьезные потери, новые подразделения, занимается восстановлением боеспособности, но, конечно, опасается таких же масштабных потерь в будущем, потому что это может привести не только к утрате боеспособности.
Meanwhile, European leaders continue to shovel more money and more weapons into Ukraine. We heard this from UK, we heard this from Ursula von der Leyen, and we also heard it from the United States side. More money, more weapons to Ukraine, because sending more money and weapons to Ukraine means that you are defending democracy when you support Ukraine. Our next guest is Scott Ritter, former UN weapons inspector, former U.S. Marine, who's just written a piece in Consortium News about this nuclear threat and where we are headed potentially to potentially nuclear war. Scott, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to unpack all of these things. I first want to touch on your most recent piece, which we heard from President Biden over the past 48 hours on a fundraising trip, by the way, that he's been warning us, of course, about Vladimir Putin, saying he thinks that there's a real possibility that Putin's going to use nuclear weapons. And meanwhile, the other side, on the Russian side, seems to be saying the exact opposite. So you've written this new piece on that specific question on nuclear war. Can you unpack that? Explain to us what your piece is about and where we're headed in this mess right now.
Well, I think we need to understand, first of all, that we live in a world where there's two competing nuclear doctrines. One is the American nuclear doctrine, which Biden has inherited from Trump, who inherited it from Obama, who inherited it from Bush. And this is a doctrine that embraces a notion of preemptive nuclear war, a winnable nuclear war, a world where the United States can envision using nuclear weapons preemptively in an effort to escalate, to de-escalate. That is, showing the other side that we're serious about this and that causing them to back down. And we have to keep in mind that the doctrine that exists under Biden is the doctrine that was in place when a senior Trump administration defense official said, our goal in having this doctrine, and this is a direct quote, our goal is to ensure that every morning when the Russians and Chinese wake up, they don't know whether or not we're going to nuke them. That's the American nuclear strategy. I want people to understand. Let that sink in. And that's the Biden strategy. This is the strategy that Tony Blinken has behind him as he goes forth and does his aggressive policies. The strategy that Jake Sullivan is backed up with when he makes his aggressive policies. And it's the strategy that should be bouncing around inside the muddled brain of Joe Biden when he says ridiculous things such as, I've been warning everybody about Putin. I've been warning them that, the threat of nuclear war is real. No, the only threat of nuclear war comes from the United States, and people should understand that. The only threat of nuclear war comes from the United States. What Russia has said is that they have no intention of using nuclear weapons, tactical or otherwise, unless their nuclear doctrine is triggered. And that one is, of course, if the existential survival of Russia is put at risk, then Russia will use all means available to ensure the continued survival of Russia. That's sort of common sense. I mean, that's why you would have nuclear weapons to begin with, to ensure your continued survival. So, we're in a situation now where we have the United States, that Jake Sullivan just gave a presentation at the Arms Control Association earlier this month, talking about the conditions under which America would pursue arms control with the Russians, totally unrealistic expectations. And Putin gave an interesting response because, as Putin is wont to do every now and then, he throws in sort of man on the street, salt of the earth colloquialisms, and he did it this time. He said, now they want to talk about disarmament. They want to come in and look at our strategic nuclear deterrence system at a time when the goal of the United States is to achieve the strategic defeat of Russia.
Okay, so let's get this right. We have been sending money to Ukraine to fight against the Russian nation, Vladimir Putin, his army. And let's add this into it. We've also been funding NATO and encouraging them to join the fight. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, now America, weapons inspectors, American weapon inspectors want to inspect the Russians' nuclear arsenal. I just want you to think about it. And let's put it into layman terms. I slap you, and before, you slap back, you want to come make sure that I don't have no brass knuckles or something. So when you slap, you'll know just how hard to slap, and you'll have other, tactics, other things to do, other weapons to use. So when the fight, jumps off, I can win. Because I have an informational advantage, so to speak. So now, again, I don't know if you paid attention last week, but CNN was like, oh, Russia's on the brink of civil war. It's about to come. I want you to see this. But just think about that. We've been bombing the hell out of them, using a proxy war, Ukrainians, Poland, a few other countries in NATO. And now we want to go in and inspect the Russian nuclear arsenal. And Vladimir Putin laughed and called us a couple of names. And the Chinese news network is saying, see, I told you he was a tyrant. See, he won't even let us come inspect. I mean, I just don't understand what is it exactly that we are expecting from Putin. I guess we don't think he knows, really what we're up to. I'm starting to think when they call him a dictator, I think in essence what they're calling him is a fool, or he's supposed to be stupid. I'd imagine. I just don't see it that way. But anyway, I'm going to keep playing this clip. I want you to see this.
Right.
And then you use the term chrenim, loosely translates into pound sand. Now, there's a more crude version of that, but and the crowd loved it. But that's the Russian approach right now. The heck with you.
Right. We're going to come in. We're going to restart. We're going to come in and investigate your nuclear stockpiles as we continue to funnel billions of dollars in weapons into Ukraine to attack on pre-war Russian land.
And this brings us up to the comments you made earlier about van der Leyen and the Europeans talking about supporting Ukraine to the bitter end. Understand that Ukraine's strategic vision is that victory is defined by the return of Zaporizhia, Kherson, Lugansk, Donetsk, and Crimea, basically the pre-1991 borders. They have to be returned to Ukraine. But Russia has absorbed these territories. Constitutionally, they're part of Russia, which means any effort to do this represents an existential threat to the survival of Russia, just like stripping California away from the United States would represent an existential threat to the United States. And so what we're saying is we support Ukraine's effort to guarantee a Russian nuclear response that brings about an end to the world. That's what this is about. And this, again, is coupled with just the sick notion. I mean, Ukraine keeps saying we want to be a member of NATO, but Ukraine has to understand that the United States and NATO is operating under a George Soros-driven notion that speaks of the need to have an Eastern European manpower pool that will be married to NATO technology to threaten Russia. If you understand what I just said, Ukraine will never be part of NATO because they are simply the meat that will be attached to NATO technology to weaken Russia. So our grand strategy of using Ukraine to weaken Russia, combined with Ukraine's sick fantasy of somehow gaining control over these former territories, all lead to triggering Russia's nuclear response. We're committing suicide as we speak, and people need to wake up and understand this, that the policies that the United States and NATO are pursuing right now are policies guaranteed to result in a Russian use of nuclear weapons. And now a Russian strategic theorist, historian, and academic, Sergei Karaganov, has just written an important piece. And what's important about this is that his opinions are listened to, and they are reflective of mainstream thinking in Russia. And he said it's time for Russia to change its nuclear posture into adapting its own preemptive policy. And it's time, if NATO and the United States continues to pursue these policies, that Russia preemptively uses a nuclear weapon against NATO.
So I have a question. I'm going to put this out here, and please add these to add this to the comments. Is America really trying to provoke? I mean, we've called it poking the bear. I mean, are we really trying to provoke a nuclear war? And if so, why? I would love to know what your thoughts are. But it is absolutely obvious that the Ukrainians, all of those Nazis, those militia groups, they're getting their asses kicked. Matter of fact, their asses have been thoroughly kicked. And the whole time they were getting put up their behinds, the mainstream media is telling Americans that Ukraine is winning the war, sending more money. They just got stomped in the ground. Literally. And Joe Biden is still telling the American people, we need to send more money. Hey, listen, if you're under the sound of my voice and you're sending money to Ukraine, stop. Okay? Stop. Please. The survival of this country depends on us not sending money to Ukraine. Stop listening to the Biden administration. They're liars and pedophiles. And we'll get into that a little later. Lone Wolf said yes, but not a nuclear war. Let me put this up on the screen. Yes, but not a nuclear war, but a war nonetheless. The reason is that war is great for any economy. I agree with you. But war like this seems to be really good for somebody else's economy. Definitely not good for the American economy. And that should be our main aim and focal point. That should be the main aim, to secure America's economy, to strengthen America's economy. It's so amazing that we keep talking about democracy in other countries. Newsflash, let's go back to the founding fathers. They wanted nothing to do with democracy because they knew that democracy was tyranny. The United States is a constitutional republic. A constitutional republic. We are governed by the Constitution, not majority rule. And I'm so over having to say that. Like, you live here. You should know this. But we've been brainwashed into thinking that we are a democracy. We're not. Never intended to be. Weren't founded on democratic principles. We do use some systems of democracy when it comes to voting, but we are not a democratic country. And if we were, we would be smoked. We would have been blown away a long time ago, because the people that are pushing all democracy, we're going to do this in the name of democracy, they are the tyrants. They are the tyrants. And they have been lying, manipulating, strategically removing our energy independence, flooding our educational systems with pedophilia, transgenderism doctrine, grooming children to cut off their genitals, switch their identity, and never tell you that psychologically they're destroying your children, destroying and annihilating their identity. They're not going to say that. But they're doing it all in the name of democracy. It's a lie. We're going to watch a few more minutes of this before I bring an end to this segment and we go on to the next, because the next segment, listen, I don't know if you looked at the description, but there is a new face. There is a new guy, a new name. Black white supremacist. Used to be Clayton Bigsby. Just stay tuned for that. So we're going to look at this a little bit further. Before I do that, I want to talk about what Lone Wolf just put up here. He said, newsflash. USA is not a democracy. It is a republic. Every democracy in the world ends in a dictatorship. Can I get an amen? Can I get one amen in the chat? Can I get one amen in the chat? Maybe. A little one? Somebody? Maybe I'll give a round of applause. Lone Wolf, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you. Round of applause for my brother. Okay, let's get a couple more minutes into this. Joker, amen, I'm telling you, man. This stuff is ridiculous. Okay? This is ridiculous. Whew, anyway. I got a couple of amens in the chat. Sugar Baby 1010, amen. Lone Wolf, Joker, amen. Nick, amen. I mean, it's amen. That's what it is. I'm sorry, I ain't meaning going around. Here we go.
And compels the United States to consider, are we willing to exchange the city of Boston for the city of Poznan? That's a Polish city that under the Karaganov theorem would be struck preemptively with a Russian nuclear weapon, sending a signal to NATO that we're done playing games. The question now is, what would an American president do when that happens? Would the American president be willing now to commit to defend Poznan, defend Poland, defend NATO with an American nuclear response, knowing that it would cost American cities? And that's a fair question. And the fact that the Russians are considering this, are bantering this about at the highest levels, means that we are losing control of the nuclear genie. Roger Waters wrote a song, Two Suns in the Sunset. And there's a chorus in there, the rusty wire that holds the cork that keeps the anger in gives way, and suddenly it's day again. That rusty wire is real. That was the arms control framework that people like myself and others put in place with the Intermediate Nuclear Forces Treaty, the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. That's gone. The rusty wire is about to give way, and it's over, ladies and gentlemen, over. And it's happening now in front of us as we speak. We have a president who when he was a senator in the Senate, was never right on any national security issue. Just ask, Robert Gates, former defense secretary, says Biden was wrong on everything. Well, he's now the commander in chief, and once again, he's wrong on everything. He's surrounded himself with people who are likewise wrong on everything, who have imbued themselves with this dangerous fantasy that America can impose its will, and we are compelling Europe to commit suicide in Ukraine, and in doing so, making possible the notion of a Russian preemptive nuclear strike against a NATO ally that could bring the United States in. This is real. I agree with President Biden at this point in time. This is as real as it gets, and it's happening right now in front of us, and we're sleepwalking through this. We, the collective West, don't understand what's happening. And by the time the lights go off, it's going to be too late, because the lights going off are going to be the thermonuclear warheads landing in the vicinity of your neighborhood, and you'll have about a millisecond to reflect on, oh, damn, we were foolish, before you're evaporated.
So let that sink in. Let that sink in. Just for a moment, let it sink in. just for a moment. We have to stop sending American dollars to Ukraine. A ton of nations have already stopped their support of the Ukraine hoax. I remember in Singapore, Sweden, countries surrounding that region over in Europe, they were standing in solidarity with the Ukrainians. Looked like they were drinking the Kool-Aid also. They were drinking that Jim Jones. And now here we go. The Biden administration asking for more funds, more patience, more time. And the entire time, we're getting closer and closer to breaching Moscow with American-made long-range ballistic missiles. And we're thinking that this guy, Vladimir Putin, the tyrant, is supposed to sit idly by and do nothing. And if he does anything, we're going to call him a tyrant. I mean, are you looking at the treachery? Can you see the treachery for what the treachery is? In essence, we're saying we're going to come in and we're going to bomb you. And if you do anything, we're going to paint you as a tyrant to the world. Well, fortunately, I don't think the world's buying it anymore. I think people are waking up. I think people are, coming to their senses and starting to realize that we have been lied to. We have been lied to. I think we're coming to that realization. And I don't think it takes, a lot of brain power to realize that we've been lied to. Let me get to Joker. He's asked a question. Does Russia have nukes that could make it to the United States? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Which is why this is suicide. To continue to press on, pursuing a battle, snowman in the building, pursuing a battle with the Ukraine, with the Russia's proxy via a proxy war through Ukraine. It's utterly ridiculous to continue to fight this war knowing. I mean, listen, what they're doing is exactly what triggers the nuclear doctrine of the Soviet Union or Russia. I mean, so you really can't say anything other than this is on purpose. And I just, for the life of me, can't figure out what the purpose is. I have no idea what the purpose is. I'm lost. However, I'm just one guy. Nobody really knows who I am other than you. And all I'm doing is trying to make sure that you get a full understanding. I want you to grasp the magnitude of what is happening over there in Ukraine. And I also want you to know that these people that are running our mainstream media are liars. And you do not need to look very far to discover the truth. They are liars. Oh, my God. And listen, I understand what went down with Russia and the United States back in the day. And, Russia. Okay. But come on, man. I mean, is there any evidence anywhere in the world where Vladimir Putin has become a tyrant? Oh, he took Crimea. But why? Nobody wants to answer that question. Vladimir Putin did. I did a video on some of the promises and some of the treaties that were made between the United States, Russia, and NATO. And the United States and NATO have broken every promise they made concerning the expansion of NATO toward Russia's borders. We need to understand that that is not a lie. That is the truth. It is the truth. And the lives of our children, our children's children, and their children, and for many generations to come, depends on us as an American people, as a society of believers in God and lovers of a country and lovers of our freedom. If we don't take a stand now, hey, our children's children may not be alive or they may not be free. And that's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave you with Trump blowing smoke in New York City. I remember all that smoke that was coming through. They said it was coming from Canada. Well, some people seem to think it was all that smoke that Donald Trump was blowing. RGKS.
How bad is the smoke right now?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
I'm honest.
And according to the mayor's office, it peaked at one sensor in New York City at 484. I mean, off the charts here.
My head's about to explode. My whole life sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going.
Outgoing Illinois Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger speaking earlier today, saying President Trump is clearly to blame.
Where's the money?
They killed Superman. Let's go get him.
It's a bunch of malarkey.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Asshole, you're not right. You're not right, sir.
Hey, AC, can you hear me, man?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay. That was good. Did you like that? I thought that was pretty dope.
Very nice. Nicely done, young man. Hey, Mayor. Hello to everybody in chat. I've been sitting up here listening to Mr. Kelly go on for a little bit.
Hey, look, before we get into our next segment, I want to. Oh man. All right, so Taylor said that she hears there's another Chinese spy balloon somewhere floating around in America, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And anyway, welcome AC to the show, everybody. Welcome AC to the show.
Bye, Lone Wolf. I see.
I don't think my round of applause is working. Do you hear my round of applause?
No, I do not hear your round of applause.
Well, that sucks.
Maybe what you need to do is get somebody that actually knows what the hell they're doing on this thing. And
yeah, man, I'm pissed off. I'm really upset about.
You're messed up. I'm not gonna say that right now. You are really messed up.
All right, let me see something. It still ain't working. Oh, I hate this thing. All right, whatever. All right, you suck. Cool. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to get that part situated. All of that was working before I got on this stream. But anyway, since I got you up here, I want to introduce you guys. Oh, wow. You see that from Lone Wolf? Look at that.
Yeah.
Who let the riffraff on the panel?
Well, maybe the man that has let me have access to his StreamYards, you can ask him about it. I don't know who let the riffraff up here.
I'm ticked off. So, all right. So, listen, I got to get some information. I want to give you guys some information. Oh, my God. Why am I forgetting his name? I need where's my assistant when I need him? I need to get somebody's name before I make a formal introduction. Hey, I'm sorry, bro. I thought, I was really hoping that you could get the notification. I sent notifications out. Maybe I didn't have your email. I don't know. But Rashard Ritchie, that's who I'm talking about. Rashard Ritchie.
That man, all I'm gonna say, that man is drinking a lot of Kool-Aid.
Oh,
that's
he definitely
all
got
I'm
the
going
Kool-Aid.
to say. I'm going to say that right now. That man is drinking a lot of Kool-Aid.
Oh, he's drinking all the Kool-Aid. And it's absolutely no question that he's drinking all of the Kool-Aid. But anyway, Rashard Ritchie made a mistake and brought Jesse Lee Peterson onto his show. Okay? All right, look. Jesse Lee Peterson is the new black white supremacist. It used to be Clayton Bigsby. Okay? It used to be one of Dave Chappelle's characters, Clayton Bigsby, the black white supremacist. But I got to tell you, man, I got to tell you, Jesse Lee Peterson is the real black white supremacist. If that's a thing, is that a thing? Because people can call me the black white supremacist.
I thought it was you.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, which one is it? You? Is it Jesse Lee Peterson? Is it
it's
the
definitely
guy out in California, the man out in California that ran for governor? Larry Elder. Is it
Larry Elder.
Is it Clarence Thomas? Is it the senator from South Carolina? Is it the senator? Is it a congressman from Florida? Who the heck is it? They've all been called the biggest blackface white supremacists there is, but there's so many of them.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Awesome Alice said blackface or white supremacy. The Angry Snowman said he is a white supremacist of color. Look, Mayor said Jesse Lee Peterson is hilarious, and that he is, because you are going to die. Some of y'all have probably already seen this clip, but I promise you, you are going to die. Oh, Lone Wolf, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Look at Awesome Alice said, it's any black man who don't go along and get along. It's a whole lot of us. I swear it is.
I just thought of another one that I watch here on YouTube.
What's that?
Greg Foreman, BCP. I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, there are so many of them. It's
okay. All right. So, AC, y'all gonna die laughing. All right. So let me give you some context. So Rashard Ritchie decided that he wanted to bring Jesse Lee Peterson onto his show and talk about George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. Okay. It's so amazing that the liberals, I don't even know I don't know if Rashard Ritchie's a liberal. I think he's an idiot, to be honest.
He is.
I really think he's an idiot. And it's like they can't stomach the truth, because everything this brother said is the truth. So I'm not gonna stop this. I'm not gonna hold this up. AC, step on back in backstage real quick, so I can bring this thing up here. Right, listen. When I tell you this is epic, this is epic. Okay? Y'all watching the Real Greg Kelly Show. Sit back and buckle your damn seatbelt, because you about to go on one hell of a ride. We're going to blast off from the cockpit. So here is Jesse Lee Peterson on Rashard Ritchie's Indisputable show a couple of nights ago. And I mean, he gets destroyed. I can't even say Rashard Ritchie got destroyed. I'm just going to say that Jesse Lee Peterson dropped Scud missile with nuclear warheads on it every time he opened his mouth. RGKS.
Hey, I have a conservative radio talk personality, TV host, extreme conservative, and he's proud of it, Pastor Jesse Lee Peterson, founder and president of Bond, B-O-N-D, and host of JLP Show and The Fallen State. Pastor Peterson, good day. Welcome to Indisputable.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Sir, you all have a celebration coming up next month.
Wait a minute. I forgot to tell y'all something. Did all my fellow white Americans know that White History Month is next month? I listen, this is not a game. I forgot to tell y'all that Jesse Lee Peterson is the founder of White History Month. Look it up, Google it. Google this. For all of my white brothers and sisters, y'all finally got a month. This is the 4th year. It's gaining traction. This is amazing. It is not a joke. This is not comical at all. The month of July is White History Month. Let's continue. This is going to be hilarious.
Are you not the founder of White History Month, I think, which starts in July?
Yeah, we're going to be celebrating our 4th year of White History Month in July. And the reason that we started it in July is because if you notice, July just feels white.
Yeah.
You know, it's summertime, vacation time, relaxing time, reflecting time, and appreciating the greatest country on this side of heaven.
Gotcha.
And so we are recognizing that and showing our appreciation for it.
I think it's important for people to know you're not a comedian. What you're saying, right? What you're saying, this is actually you. You do this. You did found. You're the founder of White History Month.
Yes.
You've also been very critical of Juneteenth. You have called it a fake holiday, but you are. You want to make sure that everyone supports White History Month.
Absolutely.
I do want to have a policy discussion with you about the George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act. I'm going to attempt to have that policy discussion with you. Do you agree or disagree with the George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act?
I totally disagree because, as we all know, George Floyd was a black, unemployed drug addict with a criminal record. And I just
okay. Let's first of all.
Hold up, man. Hey, look. Oh shit. Hey. Okay, look. Oh my God. Oh shit. Hey man, this guy is wild, bro. Oh shit. Oh my God. But it's the truth, man. Is he lying? America. Is he lying? AC, come on, man. You gotta come up, bro. I need to know.
No, he's not lying. He's not lying whatsoever.
Hey, look, America. See, this is what we need. See, this is what we need, man. We need the truth, and we need it raw. And I hate to bust y'all bubble.
I have to do this. I need to put him up here with us. I just love the look on his face. I love the look on his face.
Hey, it's so wild, right? Because he's so raw and he is so serious, man. He is so dead serious. I'm like, look, oh my God, I could not take it, man.
Joker. Oh.
Listen, I rock with this dude. Okay, I rock with this cat, America. He the real coon of the year. I respect it, okay? Hats off. Because round 2 of this is epic, okay? Epic. And he about to drop some bombs. But I couldn't hold it together. I had to laugh. I'm sorry if I laughed too loud. I'm sorry, okay? I sincerely apologize, but man, he said George Floyd was a black, unemployed, drug addict with a criminal background. And that's exactly what he was.
But what you expect? That's who these people like to showcase. Back in the 60s and the 70s, it was Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream. Now they have to go the opposite way. They have to uplift these criminals.
Man, I feel you. All right, so look, let's get back into this. You can stay right there, AC, if you want to. We got to get back into this because this right here is ridiculous. Look at his face. Y'all watching the Real Greg Kelly Show, please share this video. I'm going to clip out all the nonsense that went on earlier because I got some new equipment and I don't know how to use it yet. So I sincerely apologize. I love all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. If you do want to support the channel, you can Cash App to help me buy some equipment that work because it ain't working. I'm working on some new things. I appreciate it. But let's get back into this one right here.
Well, let's clear something up, sir. You really should be ashamed of yourself. You call yourself a Christian pastor. George Floyd is dead.
It's his fault.
He's dead because a cop killed him.
No,
now,
he's dead because he was a drug addict.
My question to you, and that's adverse to the evidence, by the way, what you just said. My question to you was about policy. So let me ask you, what in the policy of the George Floyd Policing Act do you disagree with?
The whole idea.
Which part of the policy, Jesse?
Blaming the cops and no responsibility
Jesse,
for the blacks.
I'm asking you, what part of the policy is written? You can find it at congress.gov. What part of the policy, sir, do you disagree with? This is a simple question.
I disagree with the whole idea of a policy.
You haven't read the policy. You haven't even read the damn policy. Come on,
I don't need to read it. I don't need to read it to know the truth because what I've noticed is that black people today, due to their lack of love, their lack of believing in God, they love evil more than they love good, right?
So that's the reason why you don't read.
And so
that's the reason why you don't read.
Right, because we're written by no good black people. And why should I waste my time knowing what they're about? Black folks today, and not all, but most, have no sense of direction. They're blaming everybody but themselves. And until they take responsibility for their own lives, they're not going to get better. The real truth is,
let me ask
George Floyd is dead because of George Floyd and no one else.
That's a ridiculous point. But do you blame yourself for not reading the policy, or you blame somebody else?
Why should I read the policy when I already know the people?
You don't even know what's in the policy, do you?
I don't need to know. Don't want to know. I know the people who are writing it. They are no good.
Okay, let's talk about Black Lives Matter. This is probably going to end up being an utter waste of my time having you on the show. What are your thoughts about?
You
Black
don't know
Lives
that.
Matter?
You may learn something.
Well, we'll see, preacher. What is it about Black Lives Matter that you disagree with fundamentally?
Black Lives Matter was founded by a bunch of fat black radical lesbians.
Okay.
And who
get this clown off my show. I appreciate you.
Who hate God, who hate the nuclear family.
Yeah. Listen, for those of you who wanted me to continue to engage that clown on this show, I'm sorry, I just couldn't do it. I'm only a human being. So please forgive me, okay? All right.
Oh, Jesus. Hold up, yo. Hey, look, man. When I tell you that was the coldest truth I have ever, and I do mean ever heard anybody broadcast on national television and say that Black Lives Matter was founded by a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians who hate the nuclear family and hate God. That is the absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
The absolute truth.
That is fun. It's funny. It is funny.
Rashard Richie said, thank you, man, for coming up here. Somebody get this clown off my show.
But the thing about it, the man went on about the city bike Karen, as most of us know it as, and then now the man just wants. He says he's an educated man, but it seems like he just wants black people to be victims instead of victors.
Oh my God. Hey, let me check the chat. Tay said it is 100. Mayor said, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Sugar Bear. Hey, look. Awesome Allen said he could not handle it. No, he couldn't either. Get this clown off my show. Get this clown off my show. Sugar Baby 1010 said his face is the truth for real. Mayor also said that should go viral. I believe that. It should be. That should be viral.
I think it did go viral when it first happened.
Lone Wolf said I'm speechless. I was too, brother. I cried over this last night. My stomach hurt when I watched this last night. Okay? My stomach hurt. But can we just keep it real, America? My fellow Americans. Can we just keep it real? Just for a moment. George Floyd was a black, unemployed drug addict with a criminal record that got idolized as a god. Okay? Patrice Cullors and the founders of Black Lives Matters, they were definitely fat, they were definitely black, they were definitely radicalized, and they were definitely lesbians. Okay, so we don't have any argument against any of that. But Rashard Ritchie could not take it. Could not stand it. Okay, get this clown off my show. Oh, God, there's that guy. There he is. Look at him. There he is. Bear. Oh, my God. But anyway, y'all watching RGKS and ice cold air conditioning, AC. The angry one is joining me remotely.
Not so angry tonight.
Not so angry. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sometimes I say to myself, like, why is this guy so angry? Why is this guy so angry? But America, can I get some feedback in the chat about what Jesse Lee Peterson had to say? If you agree with what he said, put a 1 in the chat. And if you want to, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. If you would like to call into the show, the RGKS hotline, the number is 562-542-3185. All calls are welcome. I should probably charge my phone up so it don't die.
It might help matters.
A little bit at least, right? At least a little bit.
We got a couple of ones in the chat.
I would love to know what your thoughts are. Again, let's put the number back up here. 562-542-3185. 562-542-3185. The Real Greg Kelly Show hotline. I would love to know what you're thinking. Normally, I would have some really smooth music playing in the background, but this crazy mixer that I have don't seem to want to allow it.
And we had all of this figured out the other day. For crying out loud.
I'm going to hit a button. Tell me if you hear anything. I don't even hear it.
No, I don't hear nothing.
I'm sick of this crap. All right. I'm going to plug in here. I mean, you don't have to call. You can send me a text if you got a personal, really, like one of those monster text messages, and you want me to read it on the show. 562-542-3185. It's the RGKS hotline number. I have no idea why my music doesn't work right now. Let's try this. Let me see. One more time. Nothing. That sucks.
Nothing.
That sucks. Nothing. Nothing. Still nothing. Okay, fine. What about now? Oh, snap. Can you still hear me, AC?
I can still hear you.
Holy smoke.
It started, but there's nothing now. It started,
I know. It was at the end. It was at the end of it. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. But anyway.
You got it, Mr. Kelly.
I heard nothing. Can you hear it? Is it there?
Oh, for crying out loud. We got an enemy in the chat.
Oh my God. Before I address Liberal Bear, do you still hear the jams?
Yes, I do.
Good. The jams are playing. I can't hear him, but it's cool. I don't care. All right, I'm going to ask you another question. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, but guess what?
You can't hear me.
I can't hear you. It's okay. I don't care. Just let the music play. I'm going to figure this out. But this dude, Liberal Bear, man, I'm done with him, man. I don't want to talk to him at all. But Liberal Bear, please, if you're going to call into the show, we'll definitely welcome you. Phone number says the circuits are busy. How is that?
What the?
Maybe a bunch of people trying to call in. Y'all know I got like 500 million subscribers. Oh, by the way, y'all know I don't really ever talk about subs or anything. But I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. So if you would please, if you have not subbed to the channel, please sub.
Yes.
Please
Be
sub
good
to the
to
channel.
Be good to my brother.
I would appreciate it. If all circuits are busy, that means I probably need to revamp my phone number. It has been 7 months since I used it. I do apologize.
Why ain't I surprised?
I mean, I didn't stream for 7 months, and you know why.
I know that.
Yeah, you know why. All right, listen. I got 2 more clips. Whew, and we're gonna be out of here. Okay? I got 2 more clips that I want to share with you, brothers and my sisters. But I also, before I get to that, I want to remind you guys that June was LGBTQ month. And before I even go into that, I want to tell you this. The LGBTQ community has more holidays, more days of recognition than any other group in America. I actually have a list. I can't find it, but I know somebody that knows where it is. Maybe I'll summon them. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Let's see who this is. Well, let's see. Hello. Anybody home?
Hey, how are you doing?
I am doing fine. Welcome to the show. This is the real Greg Kelly. To whom am I speaking with?
This is the conservative bear from the All American Chicanos Network.
Oh, the conservative one. Salute. Salute, my brother. Salute, my brother. Do you have anything to say about Jesse Lee Peterson and the way he thoroughly roasted Rashard Ritchie and Patrice Cullors and George Floyd?
I think it was amazing, and that's what we need to keep doing, is being on the attack. I'm tired of us conservatives always falling back. Oh, the police will handle it, or the Constitution will handle it. It's time for us to start clowning these folks and memeing them all the time.
I have to agree. I have to agree. I don't think enough people actually recognize the truth.
I completely 100% agree. And the only way that we're going to stop from getting shadow banned and all that stuff was if we stop speaking out and not giving up. That's why we relaunched the All American Chicanos Network, and we're doing our work on our end.
All right, listen, if you have not subscribed to the All American Chicanos Network, please go over and give the Conservative Bear and Chico's Tacos a sub. Those guys are definitely Americans, even though they're like tan people.
And Tay,
but I just wanted to give a shout out to your channel,
baby.
man. And
hold on, AC. Say that again, caller. Say that
I just wanted to give a shout out to your channel, man. You always stay motivated, and you are probably one of my best friends ever there, Gregford.
I love you too. I do, man. I do. Por favor.
The Gregford one.
The Gregford one. I was cursed with the name Gregford by this guy, by the way. I appreciate the call, Bear. Call in anytime. Again, if you have not gone over and subscribed to the American Chicanos, please go over and subscribe to the American Chicanos. Those brothers are forever putting out the truth. They're doing it raw. Not as raw as my man Justin Lee Peterson, but however, they are blood dripping raw. Thanks again for the call, RGKS.
No problem. Thanks, Gregford. Bye.
I put a number up there that should work. If you want to call in to the RGKS hotline, it is 757-926-0379. That is 757-926-0379. And if you do wish to donate to the stream, the Cash App is at the bottom. And we have another caller. Give me 1 second here. Thanks for calling the Real Greg Kelly Show. This is yours truly, the Real Greg Kelly. To whom am I speaking with?
Hey, man, I'd like to place an order to go for one sugar mama.
You know what? We actually have those on sale this week for $2.99 with free shipping.
Well, I see you got a sugar baby in there. I don't need no babies now. I need a sugar mama.
You know what? I think I got one. She's in Wisconsin. I'll give her a call for you.
But let's talk about this. Richie, I used to watch him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot of what he stated. But that man is so far up the anti-whites. Give me money because I'm black, and you guys, you white people are guilty of bringing me into this country without me wanting to be here. Bullshit.
Interesting. I guess he would have preferred to stay in Africa and still be subject to the slave trade, because that slave trade is alive.
It's funny. When you look at human history, in Roman times, there wasn't anything to do with racism. People had way too much other shit to worry about in their lives than the color of your damn skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Richie wants to talk about, George Floyd being arrested. Well, hell, homie told it right. I mean, yes, it's wrong that George Floyd died. The cops did do a lot of things wrong, but George Floyd was a drug addict. He was a convict. He was, all these horrible things. He got what he was going to get in life.
He did. I got 2 callers calling in. We're going to move on. Thank you so much for the call. Callers who did call on the private line, please call back. I would love to hear what you have to say concerning the subject matter at hand. And please, feel free to address the angry one. He's angry, but not tonight. He's not angry tonight. Not tonight. He's not angry.
I'm laughing over here.
He's actually having some fun.
I'm actually having some fun.
So, we got another caller. Thanks for calling in to the Real Greg Kelly Show. This is yours truly, the Real Greg Kelly. To whom am I speaking with?
The one and only.
Oh, awesome,
How you
Alice.
doing, man?
What's going on, Alice? Friend of the show.
I see you have found the man.
Yeah, I found him, right? Yeah.
Listening to you laugh. Oh my God, it made me laugh.
This guy is absolutely insanely factual, my kind of people. And I've been listening to him for a while. But this was the most reckless, this was the most beautifully reckless fact I have ever heard him state. I could not pass up the opportunity to break it on. Yeah.
I think it's a good reaction, man. I think this one will do good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to share him on TikTok, right? It don't even make it out the gate.
Yeah. He's shadow banned like hell.
I mean, I could share him on any app, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't share him on TikTok. And I tried to share him on Twitter, and that clip right there, they banned it.
They did. I tried to get it from TikTok also. They could not. So yeah, I couldn't get it either.
Man, the Pride events have been, oh my God.
Woo, don't worry about it. You know I'm coming with it.
Videos I found from TikTok.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy. Jesse is banned, right? But they allow for like the nudity and everything to be shown on TikTok. And there's no age restriction.
None. No age restriction for any of these sick, perverted. Oh my God, Gator is in the house. Woo! What is going on, brother? He said.
But I also like worked until I reported it and tried to keep at TikTok. But now TikTok's like 18 and older.
Right.
They finally listened because I was like, these little kids don't need to be talking to these grown folks without their parents.
They don't. And I wish somebody would try to indoctrinate mine. They'll find out what America means. What it means to be American.
My new pronouns, hey, it's safe to come out now, okay? We have a new pronoun. It's USA. And you can come out with me with your American flag. I got the lollipop gang. You know, I ain't but 4'8". We can do this thing.
Yeah. Alice, listen, thank you so much for the call. And I'm glad that you brought up the Pride parades because the next segment that we get into is definitely about the Pride parade.
Oh, you got to be careful uploading it. Make sure you blur it because YouTube's been hitting anything that has any kind of nudity exposing it.
Oh, it's blurred out. It's blurred out. It's ridiculous, by the way. And it was insanely retarded in New York City, Washington, D.C., and a few other places that we will find out here shortly. Again, Alice, thanks for calling the Real Greg Kelly Show. And if you have not gone over to the awesome Alice's channel and subscribed, please go give
and subscribe to Greg, man.
Yeah,
like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Go over and show her some love. Thanks again for the call. Whew, Gator is in the house. Hey, everybody. Gator, love you, man. Miss the hell out of you, brother. Miss the hell out of you. Okay, we're going to transition. I'm not sure what's going on, but I don't need to know what's going on. We're going to transition here. We're going to pull up this next clip. This next clip here, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, look. But before we do, I do have something for everybody that's in the chat. Y'all do remember when Donald Trump went on CNN? Who was that young lady that he talked to? I always forget her name.
Oh, I can't think of it.
I can't think of it.
She just got a new show because of it.
Yeah, she got smoked pretty good. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody being here. We're going to transition. We're going to go into this next commercial before we come back with the LGBTQ Pride Month parades and how sickening they are. Again, I do thank everybody for all of the support that you show, everything that you do. I thank you for all the callers. We're going to open the phone lines up again next segment. And you're watching the Real Greg Kelly Show. Here we go.
Please welcome the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, former President Donald Trump.
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you. Stupid person. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are. Stupid person. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are.
Why should Americans put you back in the White House?
Most people understand what happened. That was a rigged election.
It was not a rigged election.
Are you ready? Can I talk? Let's Let's keep it interesting, right?
Do you have any regrets about your actions on January 6th?
I wasn't involved in it very much. I was asked to come in. Would I make a speech?
Why did you wait 3 hours to tell them to leave?
I made a video.
Go home. We love you. You're very special.
It was a beautiful video.
See what happens. You see the way others are treated. Go home.
It said, you have to go home now.
Go home in peace.
You have to go home now.
Very special.
They thought the election was rigged.
We love you.
It was a beautiful video. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are. Stupid person. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are. Stupid person. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are.
Manhattan jury found that you sexually abused the writer E. Jean Carroll and defamed her.
This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her and her husband, nice guy John Johnson. He was a newscaster.
You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about being able to grab women.
Brother pussy. For a million years, this is the way it's been.
Vagina.
I said it's been true for 1 million years. Brother pussy. Approximately a million years.
Vagina.
Perhaps a little bit longer than that. I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. Unless somebody's very stupid, and I know you very well. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are. Stupid person. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are. Stupid person. You're not stupid at all, but you perhaps are. You
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to...
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to move right along. This will be our last clip for tonight. Excuse me. And again, earlier I addressed that this was Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
Next month is White History Month. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Actually, I want to say this, Mr. Jesse Lee Peterson. It's not White History Month. It's American History Month. Because all Americans.
Whoa, stop. It is White History Month. Black History Month is in February. White History Month is in July.
I agree with a white man that said, I don't want a White History Month. I don't want the damn thing.
Too bad. You got it. Courtesy of Jesse Lee Peterson. Whether you like it or not. All right, whether you like it or not. Can y'all hear the smooth reggae jams in the background?
Yes.
I like a little smooth reggae. I can't hear it. I'm ticked off about that because I should be able to monitor my own stuff. But it's okay. As long as you guys get to enjoy a little bit. Okay.
You got a request. We got a request from Bear.
Bear, say transition? No. No. I'm not saying anything. Okay? All right. So, again, before the conclusion of this episode 99 of the Real Greg Kelly Show, I really want to thank, I've been doing this for 3 years, kind of on and off. You know, every time I leave, I try to come back stronger. I try to come back better. But if it were not for you guys and your emails encouraging me to get back in the game, I'm not sure that I'd be here now. I'm doing this, and because I love America, I love you guys. It's really a pleasure. It really is to spend time with you, and for you to spend time with me. I really appreciate it. If anybody that feels slighted because I don't get to your comments, I do apologize. It's not that I don't want to. It's that I do this all by myself, and now I have my brother with me, AC. You know, he can pull up a couple of things and that I can't because I'm doing so much. Y'all know I can't really get my setup right, but I'm working on that too. But I do love you. I do love all the encouragement that you guys have given me over the years. I really do. Nana 1776 is not here tonight, but she's one of the people that I really, really care about. Nick and Tay, Sugar Baby, those that have been with me through the whole deal. Those that really, push me to do things. I do it because, you encourage me, really. And throughout your day, throughout your week this week, encourage somebody. Okay? Now, here we go. June, LGBTQ Celebration Month. Nobody's trying to groom your children. This is what they say. But I want to tell you that you should not believe it because these people do want to groom your children, and they tell you that they want to groom your children. So I have a clip here from Sarah Gonzalez from Blaze TV. She put this up here. I'm going to move you out of the way, AC, just for a minute, okay, while we watch this. I want you to pay attention to this disgusting display of what they call pride. And remember that God told us that pride comes before the fall. They've stolen God's symbol of peace and perverted it. They have perverted the bow of God, the rainbow of God, in which he used as a sign of promise that he would not destroy the earth with water ever again. Y'all are watching The Real Greg Kelly Show. I thank and appreciate all of you for being here tonight. Here we go. Sarah Gonzalez, Blaze TV. I entitled this clip, Freaks. The video codec is not working, so I'm going to go this way. Maybe I can. Well, actually, I could add it because it wouldn't let me. Let me try. If I can't pull it up this way, I'll just share my screen. It sucks. Okay, cool. Let's present. Let's see. Let me pull it up here. Where am I going to pull it up from, though? There we go. I appreciate it. All right. Here we go. So while this clip is being loaded, for everybody that wants to call into the show, the number is up there after this clip. If you have any comments, anything you want to share, feel free to call. For those who I was not able to get to, I do apologize, and I encourage you to call again. Let's see where this is going. All right. Okay. Here we go. Let me share my screen so we can get it done. Share my screen. Actually, I'm going to share a window. All right. Let's see. Oops, I'm sorry, AC. I need to put you here. No, AC, that ain't how it works. Bam, that's how it works. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear this, guys. If not, I'll just start it over, okay? I'll get it right.
Absolute depravity happening at the Pride parades over the weekend. Basically,
you hear anything? Are we good? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Also,
all right.
Joe Biden is lawyering up, and another fit athlete suddenly dies. But I'm sure there's nothing to see here. We've got all of that and more.
But you might want to turn it up a little bit.
Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez, and over the weekend, LGBT pride parades took place across the country, and unshockingly, they featured children front and center at events absolutely no children should ever attend. Let's take a quick trip to New York City, where they held a Pride Dyke March. TPUSA's Savannah Hernandez captured footage of hundreds of topless women, none of whom anyone would actually want to see topless, but that didn't stop these creatures from displaying their bodies in front of children who were, by the way, playing on floaties that Savannah said women at the event described as blow-up clitorises. I think it goes without being said that viewer discretion is advised. Watch. How liberating to sexualize yourself like that, to create yourself into a sexual object. Amazing. You know, an empathizer would say, well, come on, maybe they just didn't see the children. Maybe the children were there on accident. Maybe the children were a deep fake, probably Russian misinformation. But whatever the case may be, these poor, oppressed people are not trying to sexualize children and indoctrinate them into their sex cult, except that they admitted it, again, in broad daylight on the streets of New York City. Watch. Had enough of New York? Need to vomit? Resist the urge, because there's more. We're going to travel to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where a man participating in the Pride Festival began twerking in front of the all-ages crowd in his underwear for, like, literally no apparent reason at all. Watch.
Show him how to twerk, AC.
Those of you who are just listening on audio podcast are missing a very old man in his tighty whities and a giant pot belly, literally just twerking in his nasty underwear. And I would just like to know why do they always look like this? You'll notice, by the way, those of you who were watching, he was directly in front of young children, shaking his ass in his Hershey-stained underwear. And you're supposed to believe he's not a pedophile. Okay. Sure, Jan. And in perhaps the most shocking footage from over the weekend, although it's really hard to say, a group of grown men rode their bikes in the Seattle Pride Parade totally naked, exposing themselves to young children standing by. Watch. Do not let anyone tell you that's not what Pride Month is about, or that's not what most of the Pride events are. These are rare occasions. All of that, everything that you just saw, is exactly what the LGBT movement is about. It is exactly what Pride Month has become, which is why those of us who are on the ground doing the work exposing this are uncovering more and more like it every single day. Pride isn't about acceptance or love or peace or inclusion. It is by its very nature celebrating sexual deviancy, sexual fantasies, hedonism, kinks. It is inherently sexual, and they are exposing children on purpose so they can normalize it. You cannot make Pride Month about anything other than who someone chooses to screw, which, I don't know, us normal people believe should stay in the bedroom. I remember a time when they used to call what I just showed you indecent exposure, and grown-ass men would get put on a sex offender list for the rest of their lives. Now it's just an annual celebration in a Democrat city near you, an expression of parental rights, freedom to destroy your children, destroy the youth, freedom to indoctrinate them into thinking something is wrong with their own bodies and chopping their breasts off. There aren't enough millstones in the world for everyone involved in this disgusting movement. Here to discuss this and more, a man who I think might have a few things to say about this, Jaco Booyens, host of The Bottom Line and Blaze TV contributor.
Thank you.
Jaco, are you surprised at all to see this?
Unfortunately not. We're in a time, as we say in our film, it's no longer God bless America, it's God help America.
Mm-hmm.
And we have crossed the tipping point, Sarah. We are a post-Christian nation. And that's a very difficult thing to say, but we are a post-Christian nation. We're a post-Christian culture. Let's just call a spade a spade. Lucifer, Satan, there's also flags this weekend where they say Satan loves us. Yes, he does. You're right about that. And he wants you to burn in hell. Mm-hmm. And that's where you're going. And your pastor may not tell you, but that's where you're going when you're sodomizing children and you're living in sexual deviancy and you're embracing the abomination of homosexuality, that's where you're going. I'm just going to be real. And we're all sinners and we all need to make right. But this is glorifying it. This is not just me and my life and I want to live this way and marry a man. Oh, those days we dream of now. Could we go back there where they just want to get married? Now it's like, no, we must rob the souls of as many young people, the parents that take their children with a pride flag in hand. That is child abuse at the most egregious level. At the same week, the BBC is interviewing the Kenyan president and saying, are you a homophobe? And he says, homosexuality is not welcome here. And they said, how can you say that? And he said, you will respect our customs in our country. We're a Christian nation. Here we don't allow children to be sexualized and raped. And can I remind you that Vladimir Putin, maybe one of the worst guys on the planet, said, hey, us Russians, we're not going to rape children. We're not going to sexualize children. I'm sick and tired of the GOP. I'm sick and tired of Americans going, look how bad this is. Sarah gets the right to do that because she actually shows up. She actually gets out of this chair. She's not a virtual activist like most of you. Oh, I like it. Oh, it's horrible. You have to get so vilely upset that you actually get inconvenienced and show up and put yourself in a line of fire like we do every day. And this is not a virtue signal. This is my life's work. And Sarah has the right to play a segment like that more than any other newscaster because you show up. You go in the line of fire. You've been, unfortunately, manhandled. Yeah. So, Sarah, I'm sick and tired of an American culture that allows this to happen. Oh, they're so bad. Oh, LGBTQ, alphabet, Satanists, demons manifesting, those from hell itself. Oh, they're so bad. We allow it. Mm-hmm. We have allowed it for years. We made Alfred Kinsey a champion. Praise God, one of our bills just defunded the Kinsey Institute, but we have allowed this because it's tolerance and it's this false love. That's not love. Mm-hmm. That's satanic. And I'm afraid it's so bad that no administration can stop it. No, Donald Trump does not stop this, okay? You, the father and the mother, you who have family members that take their kids to this crap, you stop it. And it's going to get uncomfortable, Sarah. Mm-hmm. It's going to rip families apart. It's going to break relationships. Churches are going to split. So they should. Yeah. So they should. The Methodist Church is splitting again over this crap because some in the Methodist Church are saying, sorry, can't go there. And some saying, well, but we want to.
Right, right.
But Jesus somehow magically would be okay with it.
Jesus loved everyone.
So sorry, it's a rant, but by God, it's by His grace that I don't physically hurt people and harm people.
So I agree with you that it's not going to be solved by Washington, D.C., because it's clear that we don't have people. Well, first of all, I'm not sure what type of thing federally that can be done. I think that states should be, passing laws all across the board, but. Aside from that, I do think that shaming works. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Yeah. Case in point, one of the moms who brought her children to the Christmas drag queen tour that I uncovered and exposed, along with the work of Taylor Hanson, independent reporter Taylor Hanson, who was helping my organization Defend Our Kids Texas. And one of the moms was like, very upset that I exposed her bad parenting and tried to, twist and turn her way out of it by saying like, no, I didn't know that she was recording me. I didn't know. She's manipulating the situation. And she goes on to cry and complain that she's concerned that she can't get a job in the education field because people have seen that video. So many millions of people have seen that video. And I'm like, good.
She shouldn't get a job.
Good. You shouldn't be working around kids because you know what happened when I posted the video and people saw who she was and recognized her? They sent me messages saying, this is a woman who has taught in ISDs in this area, who has exposed children to LGBT, to CRT, to all of these things that parents don't want their kids exposed to. And they already had those stories for me.
We have 19 counts of teachers in Dallas ISD over the last 12 years caught red-handed in a parking lot with a minor, in a back seat with a minor, on school property with a minor. Fernando.
Okay, I'm not going to go any further with this.
Hey, Greg, can I show something?
I mean, this is really, really disgusting. This is really, really disgusting. I want to thank everybody for their comments.
Greg, can I show something that I showed yesterday?
I want to thank everybody for calling in. This is really, really disgusting. And we have to stop this from happening in America. We have to stop this from happening. We have to.
Not right.
I would love to know your thoughts. The hotline number is up, 757-926-0379. If you have anything you want to say, anything you want to share, we'd love to hear it. Here at RGKS, we would love to know what you think about Pride Month and some of the filth. And, you know, the children being exposed to, you know, men's genitals, women's breasts, women's vaginas, you know, sexually explicit language, touching, the aspect of grooming.
Baby.
Hold on, AAC, my bad.
All right.
Hold on. Oh, we got a call. I'm going to try to answer it if it ever shows up. All right, you're live here on RGKS. Floor is yours. You are live here on RGKS. To whom am I speaking with? And if you don't want to say that, the floor is still yours.
Oh, no, Greg, it's Lone Wolf. Now, I got a question for both you and the idiot next to you, AC.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the angry liberal over there.
The angry liberal.
The angry.
I want you guys, go ahead and define for me a woman. Define a woman for me.
AC, you want to do the honors?
It's an adult. It's a adult human female. That's a woman. We got quite a few of them in the audience right now.
Absolutely, we do. I think a woman is a human being that has ovaries and has the capacity to give birth, which means she has to receive the seed, the seed of a man in order to fertilize her egg, and therefore we have an embryo growing in the uterus of a woman. A man does not have a uterus.
But see, in today's day and age, and here in the future even, we're able to add parts. We're able to remove parts. A little nip and tuck. A little adding of plastic. So those are good definitions, but they can be twisted and manipulated. So I'm going to end this real quick, and I'm going to do this very basically, okay?
Okay.
Males are born with chromosomes XY.
Facts.
Females are born with chromosomes XX. You cannot change those. You can add breasts. You can change your breast size. You can add a schlong. You can even change the size of your schlong. Okay, but you cannot change the chromosomes that you're born with. Therefore, what I'm thinking we need to do is start changing signs on all these public restrooms, from girls, boys, women, men. We need just to do chromosome XY only, chromosome XX only.
Now, let me ask you this. If we did do that as a society, do you think these twisted, sick, demented, debaucherous human beings would do anything different?
No, they're gonna continue. And the other way to get rid of these mentally defected individuals is we need to take control of America again.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we need to start small because they've infiltrated every level and they've screwed up every level. So we're going to have to start small and build ourselves back up. Because if we don't do something soon, God done destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah over this crap.
He did. He did.
Okay, do you think that the United States is too tough for God? You better think again.
I agree. Lone Wolf, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, have a good one.
Lone Wolf, let me ask you a question. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I did. You know who I am a little bit.
Yes.
AC will tell you more in private.
Okay.
But we're going to start, I think, getting that up and running again.
Well, listen, when you do, brother, you can count on me showing you support, man. I appreciate you supporting my stream. I appreciate your call. I thank you for your input. Lone Wolf, everybody. Thanks for calling the show. That was a great job by the Lone Wolf. He put it straight facts, just like it is. Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand America.
And Greg, I got a question for you and everyone in the audience.
Well, you ain't gonna keep cutting me off, bro. You know I got a pistol. I got a pistol. Now go ahead.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
Why is the private area of the human body called genitalia if gender has nothing to do with sex? Why is the private area of an adult people called genitalia, the actual medical term for it is genitalia, but gender doesn't have anything to do with the biological sex?
Well, it's a lie. And we need to recognize it, call it what it is. It's a lie. Excuse me, it's not true. It's never been true. And even as people make an attempt to change definitions, it doesn't make it any less true than what it has already been. It is not the truth. And, you know, people that love purity, people that love sanctity and, you know, just the normal order of things, we all know that it's not true. And I want to encourage all of you to be reminded of something. You know, just because everywhere you turn on the television, we see this sick, twisted, demented mentality being promoted all over the airwaves. Don't you think for a second that we are outnumbered. We're not. If we were outnumbered, there would be no need for propaganda. We are not outnumbered. And God is with us. The phone lines are still open. We're going to wait here for a few minutes. I see what's going on in the chat. Y'all are nuts, man. Y'all are crazy. We do appreciate you, hanging out with us here on RGKS, the Real Greg Kelly Show. One of my favorite people, man. Gator, brother, I swear it is such a blessing, man, to have you with us tonight. It really is a blessing, man. Alice, so good to know that you're still in the game. Bear, one of my best friends. You know I love you. Even my one of my new friends that I met, Scott Gibson, I appreciate you for tuning in. He may not be here now, but he did show his face. And, you know, two of my favorite people, Nick and Tay, you know how I feel about you. Mayor, so grateful for your presence tonight. Thank you for being here. And everybody that I missed, it is nothing more than an honor that you take the time to spend a little bit of your time with me. And, you know, we are, just, wanting to put it out there for what it is, the truth. And I want to share this before we go, and I give AC an opportunity to give his last thoughts here tonight. Hey, listen, man. I'll continuously say all we have is each other, and that's the truth. But the future are the children. And, I'm sure if you watched any of the mainstream media, we've been hearing, the LGBTQ representatives say, we're not here, for the children. But yet and still, when they parade in the streets, and they're nude and they're exposing themselves to the children, they'll tell you, we're coming for your children. And if you're a parent, I don't believe there's any parents in this room tonight that are affirming their child's alter gender identity. But if you know anyone who has a child and they are affirming their gender, their alter gender identity, if you love them, tell them the truth. If it costs you the friendship, so be it. But sow the seed of the word of truth, because the Lord promised us. He promises us that his word will never, ever come back to him empty. If you speak it, it will produce fruit. We may not see it in this life. We may not see it in our lifetime. But if you sow that seed, you will see, or you may not see, the fruit of that truth producing life-changing fruit in their lives. Again, the phone lines are open, 757-926-0379. You can send a text. You can give us a call. We'd love to hear from you either way. I'm going to give AC an opportunity to share his thoughts, his final thoughts before we shut down for the night. AC, the floor, where'd you go, man? Oh, so you don't want to talk? Okay, cool. How do I get myself out?
I wanted everything to be on you.
How do I put you up here by yourself? It's not working. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I see it. There we go. I got it. There we go. AC, floor is yours.
The thing about it, protect them little ones. I don't have any kids, but the people that I do have, that I'm very close to, do. And the thing about it, this is, like Greg said, the children are our future. And it makes you wonder why we go through the things we do. Life isn't easy, but if we all come together, like it's been said, if we come together, if we pray for our nation, if we humble ourselves, Bible tells us what happens. God will heal the land. God will heal this land and bring forth the fruit that we're supposed to be giving. He will bless us. He blesses me every day because of the people that I have around me. The people that I have around me are strong in their faith. They are good people, and they strengthen me. For crying out loud, me and Greg don't talk every day, but the thing about it, he gives me the direction I need with the Bible. He tells me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. Please humble yourself and get people in this country to humble themselves, and we will come back as a nation. God foresees that before we ever do anything. God knows our hearts. But get away from the sin. Like Mayor said, turn away from sin. Turn from the sin. That's what holds us back from being a nation that preaches the gospel, that gives the gospel to our Father up in heaven. When we speak from the Bible, it doesn't go out void. There might be someone that comes on this, and here's what Greg said. Please turn away from the wicked ways. Be a blessing to someone. Be that light that God, that Jesus has told us to be in this dark and forsaken world. That's what it is. We can turn this country around, and we don't ever have to do, we never have to do a shot. We don't have to hurt anybody. All we have to do is speak the truth. The truth is the Bible. The truth is what we make it. Listen to that Bible. Listen to your spirit. Listen to the people around you that know that Bible better than you do. I'm surrounded by people that know the Bible better than I do. They teach me. They point me in the right direction. Be that blessing. Be that for this world. And like Alice said just a little bit ago, please homeschool your kids. Teach them the Bible. Teach them that Bible, because that Bible is life. It is life everlasting. So please do what you can. Protect these children and call out the evil, because that's what it is. We don't fight against flesh and bones. We're not fighting against the flesh and the bones of other people. We are fighting against the evilness, the wickedness in this world at this moment in time. Get in your Bibles, be a blessing to somebody. And if no one else tells you today that they loved you, I do. You are my brothers and sisters in Christ. And Greg, thank you for letting me come up, brother. Love you and love everyone in the chat, especially the ones that keep me going.
Well, brother, it's always a pleasure to have you here, man. And, I don't know what else to say about that. I always appreciate your input. I appreciate your friendship. And, as long as, we are connected by the truth, we're connected by life. In our veins is red blood. It's the life-giving source that was given to us by our Creator. I will always consider you a brother, an asset, not just a brother, but an asset. And I appreciate it. If you'll jump backstage, I'm going to close the show. My fellow Americans, we have had a lot of fun tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Man, we had a lot of fun. We got some hard truth also. But what I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart is America's destiny depends on us. It depends on us. If we don't turn back to the Lord with all our hearts and all our strength, with all our might, and turn from our wicked ways, the America that we grew up in will not be the America that our grandchildren grow up in. It will not. If we continue to fall by the wayside and join hand in hand in the name of what we would call inclusion. If you don't know, if we do that, I want to stay on topic. If we do that, if we continue to compromise the righteous standards of God in the name of inclusion, we will be included in those who are gathered and thrown into the lake of fire for eternity. You have to take a stand. We have to take a stand. Diversion, equity, and inclusion is satanic. And we have to take a stand against it. If we don't, we'll be just like Sodom and Gomorrah, destroyed because we did not hear the voice of God. And my brothers and sisters, the Lord has been way, way too good to us. Way too good to us. To sell out to sexual perversion and sexual pleasure. He's been way too good. each and every one of you tonight, I want you to search your hearts. If there's anything in your life and anything in your heart that you know is not pleasing to the Lord, I want you to consider turning around and going in the opposite direction. Okay? All we have is each other. No matter what your skin color is, you're my sister and you're my brother. If you adhere to the truth and the righteous standards of the Lord. And what we have to grab hold of is recognizing that when people, in the name of inclusion and in the name of acceptance and in the name of tolerance say, your Lord isn't the only way. Well, he said he was the only way. And they'll say there's another way. You need to understand at that very moment that they're your enemy. I mean, I don't want any enemies any more than you do. But we have to call it what it is, man. An enemy of the cross is your enemy. It doesn't matter how emotionally connected you are to them. It doesn't matter how much history you have with them. Those that do not acknowledge Christ as Lord are your enemy. They cannot be friend, they are foe. And I hear so many people talking about just love everybody. No, you can love your enemy, but you need not forget that you have them. They're enemies. And when you love your enemy, you pray for them. You don't mingle with them. You pray for them. Fervently pray for them. When you get up in the morning, you mention them to the Lord. And here at the Real Greg Kelly Show, we're far from perfect, but there's one thing you cannot move us off of. And that is this. There is no other God. There is no other Lord. There is no other name that has the power to save the lives of fallen humanity. And I want to say, there is no other creator. There is no other Savior. Christ is Lord. The only true God. And what we are seeing in this country, he despises. He despises. And it doesn't matter if you're flying the flag or not. It's a lifestyle that he despises. And we have to get it right. The only way this turns around is if we, the American people, who serve a loving God, it's all in our hands, man. Thank you for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. Everybody that called in, everybody that texted, everybody that commented, I want you to know that I consider you family. Anna Rodriguez, Mayor, Bear, Taylor, Gator, Anna, I said Anna once, Mayor, Sugar Baby, AC, everybody that joined us tonight. Everybody that joined us tonight. Lone Wolf, thanks for the call, brother. Awesome Alice, I appreciate you, sis. Nick, I can't call everybody because my brain ain't that long. But I want you to know that America's not dead yet. We still have an opportunity. Let's turn it around, y'all. Thanks for watching the Real Greg Kelly Show. We're going to go out in my special way. Y'all know how I like to do. I like to bang something. I like to hit something hard. And I just want to say one more time, man, I love you. And I appreciate you. Thanks for watching again. The Real Greg Kelly Show. Rock to the music, baby. I'll see y'all next time. Catch y'all next time. Real Greg Kelly Show. We out. They dumb as hell, man.